Hello. So this week I have finally managed to progress to JavaScript after saying that next week I'm going to start JavaScript for about 3 weeks now. So last night I finally decided, even though I felt like I still had more to do with my current front-end mentor project and CSS and responsive layouts and stuff, I just thought I did do research into this and people said you can learn them in tandem, and I've been putting this off now. So yeah, finally got stuck into a bit of JavaScript yesterday for the first time. The past week has been much better than the previous 2 weeks. Sadly, if you saw my last week's video, I mentioned how this weekend I was going to see my friend who's a software engineer and going to talk to him about JavaScript and other bits and pieces that I've been doing. I had to cancel that weekend because my wife's come down with the flu, so we decided just to reschedule. But that meant that I had a lot of spare time, a completely empty weekend, so I managed to put some good hours into CSS and get started with JavaScript as well. I know I tend to waffle in these videos, so I'm going to try and keep these under 5 minutes, a bit more short, sharp and condensed from now on, and just focus on what I've been learning the past week and the issues that I've come up against. Starting off with the challenge that I've been doing on Front-End Mentor. This was applying grid to this, I think it's called the Bento grid challenge. The initial layout and applying that, actually applying the grid, if that makes sense, that was okay. I came into more issues later on, more like the sort of finicky stuff. So one of the main issues I had was I applied to, all the different tiles were laid out by divs, and all the divs had different classes on them. And I set all these different tiles, all these divs to have one rem's worth of padding, because that roughly looked like what it did in the picture. However, on a couple of the tiles, they had these little images on them, and the images stretched beyond that padding. And because of the rule I set, it was basically highlighting every single div within the container to have the same padding. Because of that, I really struggled to overwrite that style on specific, or that rule on specific tiles. I tried increasing the width to like north of 100%, and the portions of the picture went off. I did Google it and go on ChatGPT, and they said to create another class where the padding was 0 and that would override, and I tried that. That didn't work. That was like a minor issue. I wasn't too overly focused on that, but that was the first issue that I came up, which took up a fair bit of time this week. The second issue, which was a much more, I think, important issue, or a much bigger issue, is the whole concept of responsive layouts. I'm still struggling with this. I know you can set, you should set a minimum width, and I don't really know what min-max is yet. I haven't got that far. I did stumble across Kevin Powell's 21-day course, where it does like a mini lesson every day for 21 days on responsive layouts. I'm only on day 4 of that. The beginning stuff was quite basic and going through the different units, but I'm hoping at the end, if I'm just doing that course in tandem with now JavaScript and finishing off the challenge, I'm hoping by the end of that course I get some clarity. But in terms of how I initially laid out the grid, I was quite happy with that, and the way I positioned the different tiles to match the different areas of the grid. That I was really happy with, but then when it came to being responsive and changing the side, everything went a bit out of whack. So yeah, responsive layout is something that with the CSS stuff I'm still struggling with quite a lot. So those two problems took up most of my time when focusing on that front-end mentor project. Then last night, whilst watching NFL Classic Sunday night, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to get stuck into JavaScript. My pathway that I'm planning on following is learning vanilla JavaScript, then going into React, then going to Node.js. And I wanted to know what are the sort of key concepts of vanilla and how much vanilla JavaScript do I need to know before moving on to React. I did a little bit of research into this, and then in the end I just found this video, which I'll link below. I've done the first hour and a bit, and right now it's just super basic stuff. Just editing on dev tools on the console, introducing concepts like what are strings and doing really basic maths. And there's these few little very simple challenges at the end. It's quite a slow moving, slow paced course, but being completely new to JavaScript, I basically don't even know what it is at this stage. It's quite nice for me, even though the challenges are quite easy at this stage. So that's as far as I got last week. So this week, just going to plan on doing more of the same. Keep working my way through the JavaScript course. Keep doing the daily Kevin Powell course, the 21-day course, and hopefully just keep refining bits of my front-end mental challenge until I get it to a decent level. As always, any advice, constructive criticism is more than welcome. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.